time now for this hour's feature. Jeff has some sort of thing about these 50s, 5 futuristic cars of the 50s.
Yeah.
He's going back to the future.
Hit me up.
Okay, well, here we go. Life in the 50s was all about embracing the future, or at least preparing for it. Equal parts of excitement and terror, Michael. All of that came through the decades of wildly futuristic concept cars, and there's just a few of them that I picked out. This first one is called a Lincoln Futura. It is predicted that the Futura of the American automobile, get it, Futura, future, but not exactly. Over the decade after it made its debut, the legendary Hollywood car builder Chuck Barris transformed this exact car into something called a Batmobile for the 60s TV show based on the comic book.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The next one we have is called the GM Firebird 2. It's the second of 4 turbine-powered concept cars, nicknamed Firebirds. Firebird 2 was designed as a 4-seat family car complete with a semi-self-driving characteristics. There you go with AI. Along a stretch of road with wires embedded in the pavement, it could theoretically, Michael.
No, it'd be theoretically.
Follow the preordained routes. And then coming up next.
Did you say preordained?
Preordained routes. I didn't even write that.
Preordained routes.
Yeah.
That's a weird way of saying that.
Maybe they used them in the convent. I don't know. The Ford X2000 designer Alex Tremelius counts among.
Are you sure that's the way you pronounce his name?
Tremelius. There's many creations as like the Tucker 48 as well as the Flying Saucer. It really drew the Flying Saucer alien thing of World War II and the government into the there you go. That's scary. His stylings tended to be straddled a fine line between genius and insane, but it's better than the X. This is the best X2000 that you will see from Ford. The next one we have, my favorite.
Damn, look at the Dagmars on that thing.
Let's talk about that. Another one of Harley Earl's projects, the Cyclone took
he obviously was very much into the Dagmars.
I think he was. He was a leg man.
No, he was
also
not a leg
far
man.
more literal than most of the concepts. Comes from, those aren't Dagmars, by the way. It resembles the nose cone of a fighter jet.
Oh, sure. Okay. That's what you say.
Actually hide small radar units.
Because they're not chrome. That's the difference.
I am not buying into that, baby.
Small radar
That's a black
units.
brassiere right there if I ever saw
sort
one.
of a primitive crash detection design.
Crash detection.
Yeah,
I'm going to use that. That's what those things are, crash detections.
Or whatever. Okay.
Crash detectors.
The next one and the final one, thank goodness, is the Ford Nucleon.
The Nucleon.
Everybody in the future will be driving a nuclear-powered car, so they say, or maybe not. The Nucleon was one of the more exercised of anything else serious intent of the design. They wrote it, I didn't. Ford's idea was to show that the vehicles might look like once nuclear reactors with very small enough to produce power in the back of that.
And they took the Dagmars off.
They took the Dagmars off. So there you go. Those are your 5 concepts.
I watched yesterday a deal that Jay Leno did on the Corvair truck.
Oh yeah, I've seen
and it was
that.
the Corvair 95, and it was the truck that had the side gate on it.
Yep.
And I guess that it was somebody's good idea at General Motors that they needed to do this. It was the same Corvette motor and everything else, or Corvair motor that was in there. And that's what that thing reminded me of.
Well, we see those at Autorama. The Corvair Club has those
I know.
pickup style. They're kind of groovy.
Really?
Groovy.
You think that?
I like
That's
it.
what he said, groovy.
I like the unusual.
And the funny thing about that is that is a forward-driven machine. So in other words, the engine's in the back. So to give it more space in the back to be a truck,
right?
They put the cab of it in front of the front axle.
Right.
So you're hanging out there.
Almost like a cab over.
Yeah.
But it's not a cab over.
Because the engine's in the back.
It's further out.
Yeah.
So, and he showed basically where he sat was right over the wheel.
You know that one of those that Jeff was showing, that maybe it was that last Ford, it was like that. It was like the front wheels were behind the cab completely.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hanging out there. Huh.
Hanging.
Yeah.
hanging.
So talk about crash protection. You're it.
Yeah, buddy.